Hi, welcome to our very first PowerPoint, and it's just the simple welcome PowerPoint. My welcome PowerPoint here is basically to welcome you to the class, talk about a few things, cover the syllabus, that kind of thing. So if you are watching this, that means you are enrolled in Bio 123, and I am Linda Bernhardt. Yay! Kind of wish I had sound effects for that. All of a sudden I just saw the Muppets in my head for that one. Anyway, here we talk about who I am, how the course is going to be run, that kind of thing. This is exactly the same PowerPoint I normally use in person. And so where it says what kind of questions do you have, I'm just going to have to try to guess what kind of questions you have. But then at the end, I talk about what to do about actual questions. So who am I? Well, here we go. These clearly not me, but, and I get to have fun with this because I can do the laser pointer option right there and go, okay, here we go. So this kitty right here, her name is Zoe. She's a rescue from someone who had her, and they had way too many animals, and she had a rough life, so we brought her in. This is my baby Fang right here. And this is Osiris. Osiris is much larger than that now. Both of them are also rescue kitties. Tell you this because clearly I'm a bleeding heart. Love my kitties. Then over here, this is very old pictures. This is my oldest. His name's Pax. This is my youngest, Jacob. Shirt says, "You read my t-shirt, that's enough social interaction for the day." One of the most appropriate t-shirts like ever. And this is my nephew, Nickel. Very old pictures. To show you, here's updates. Notice Osiris much larger now. I'm coming back to these guys in just a minute. Nickel, he does not know I show this picture. As of right now, he's actually having a paid internship working on fixing airplanes. So that's pretty cool. Jacob, Pax, very goofy Pax. So, about Fang and Osiris. Fang was teeny tiny when he first showed up. As in, I think it was 1 pound, 4 ounces, and he was 4 weeks old. And the vet told me that they had no idea if he was even going to survive. So I had to nurse him back to health, all this stuff. That sucker's like 13 pounds now, huge, healthy cat. Love him. But he was so tiny when I first got him that I named him the biggest thing I could think of, which is Fang. That is the name of the giant dog for Hagrid in the Harry Potter series. So that's honestly who my cat's named after. Osiris is a different story. Osiris is also a rescue kitty. Where I lived in Super South Georgia, there was a creek not too far away from my house, and I really think somebody threw a litter of kittens in the creek to get rid of them, because when Osiris showed up, he was teeny tiny, very vocal, constantly meowing, desperately wanting attention. And I had to catch him. And when I finally caught him, he both purred and shook at the same time. So he was terrified and very happy. He does not leave the house. He does not like to go out of the house. If you open the door, he runs away from the door, and he is still, to this day, terrified of bags. So I'm pretty sure he had a rough start. He's named Osiris. This is one of those I always ask my class in person if anyone knows where the name Osiris comes from. But since you can't answer, I'll tell you. That is the Egyptian god of the underworld, because Osiris showed up right before Halloween. So it kind of made sense. Now, these are my updated pictures. I haven't put any other pictures in here yet because, just haven't. So where I said it's about me, the pictures up there, those are my main things. Got my kitties, my kids, my nephew. Also married. And the main thing I talk about here is to let you know what to expect from me. I am not your typical teacher because I'm not your typical human, pretty much. Here we go. Ready? We will start with the fact that I quit school after the 9th grade. I moved out, was working already at the age of 17, making my own living. As soon as I turned 18, I got my GED. then I just did all these random jobs. At the age of 18, I was a cocktail waitress at a strip club. And fast forward, go through a 10-year marriage and having 2 kids, still just being a high school dropout. And then in 2003, 2002, somewhere around there, that's when I left my then husband. Now he's an ex. And we had a 3-person household, and I became a diesel mechanic. So huge range of jobs, because we've had the cocktail waitress, shoe store assistant manager, photography studio manager. I owned my own photography studio late in the game. Also an extruder operator. Here we have diesel mechanic. There's quite a few others in there. I've had a lot of jobs. I tell you that because I come around different ways to see things because of the various jobs. Okay, then, like I said, diesel mechanic. Took my entrance exam, got into Valdosta State University, because at that time I was living in Valdosta, and it didn't occur to me to try for more than one college. I didn't know GMC existed yet, or I probably would have gone to GMC. All I knew was VSU. So took the entrance exam, started with learning support math, because the entrance exam, when it got to the math portion, I still remember the very first question was, what is an integer? And I burst out laughing and started randomly clicking buttons, because I had no idea, and I figured if I didn't know the first question, it didn't matter. I knew how to do math, I just apparently didn't know vocabulary. So I started with math at VSU. It was 097 and then 099 until I finally got to college algebra. I tell you this because I know a lot of people don't like taking the remedial courses, but I think it's the absolute best thing for you, because you learn so much more, and it, sets you up. Now, as I said, high school dropout after 9th grade, finally went to college in my 30s. Pretty much what happened is one of the other mechanics, friend of mine, he wanted to go to college, didn't want to go alone, and asked me to go. Said that he wanted me to go to college with him. I told him I was too old to go to college. He told me I was too old not to go, and I went, good point. So that's what I did. I went to college. Then I started VSU January 2005, and by December 2009, I graduated with honors with a Bachelor in Science of Biology, Bachelor of Arts in Philosophy. January of 2010, I started my master's in biology. That same summer, I started my master's in public administration. May of 2012, I graduated with the master's of public administration. And I started a doctorate in public administration, but I never finished that. Kind of, ran out of funds and stuff. Still would kind of like to finish that, because that'd be really cool to have a doctorate. I would like to say Dr. Bernhardt and then put my GED right up at the very top. Now, on top of the about who I am, I also have PTSD and general and social anxiety. I hate being the center of attention. I don't like people watching me or looking at me. And so it's really weird that I became a teacher. But I became a teacher because in grad school, I had to teach labs, and I begged and pleaded to not have to do it. I really did. And the first few that I taught, my whole scalp was just sweating, and I would keep my back to the class, and I'd write on the board, and I'd be all shaky and stuff. But I found a passion for it, and discovered my issue was I discovered a lot of people took science courses because they had to, and they didn't understand anything about it. And a lot of the science classes made it so much more difficult than it really had to be. And I found I loved helping give people that aha moment, to try to figure it out. So I thought that was pretty cool. So on top of the PTSD and the anxiety stuff, also both my kids and myself were all on the autism spectrum. So my brain might not quite follow the line that you think it would, but it actually benefits you, because I will bring the material to you from such a bizarre angle. You'll be like, wait, what? And think it's strange. And sometimes you're going to be like, I have no idea what she's talking about. And then I get to the end and you go, oh, I see. So I apologize ahead of time for sometimes feeling like we're going to finally get somewhere. But that's the way my brain works, and you get to go along for the ride. Now, the anxiety part. You'll see it a lot in this video kind of thing, because it's really awkward to just talk to this green dot and have zero feedback. But normally in the classroom, which you will see in week 3, I talk and I look at you and I look around, and so if I see you going, that lets me know you get it. If I see expressions like, that lets me know you don't know, and then I will keep talking about it in different ways, because not everybody learns the same way, and I know that. I get that, because I am that. And so if you don't understand something, I really want you to understand it. I don't want you to just memorize something. So I will try. Which brings me to, on occasion, you will ask me a question. Oh, 2 things here. First, on occasion, you'll ask something, I will say something, it will be the most profound thing you've ever heard. It makes perfect sense. You're like, oh my gosh, that is the perfect definition ever. And you will say, can you repeat that? And I will say, no. And it's not that I'm trying to be mean, it's I literally don't remember what it was I just said, because my mouth opens, words come out. I don't have a whole lot of stuff prepared. So every day that you hear me talk, anytime you see me doing these videos, it's literally what's already in here and it's just coming out. So it changes, and it changes on the feedback I get. So the more feedback, the better. Other thing is, you'll ask me a question and I'm like, and then I will end with, does that make sense? Or did I answer your question? It's because the way my brain goes off on tangents is I will be headed towards a certain point. Woo, my hair. I'll be headed towards a certain point and trying to get there to answer it, but I have all these other thoughts come flying in. And sometimes I get distracted and I'm like, okay, no, not that one, stay here. But then I lose track of where I am. Then I realize I'm lost track and I try to rein myself in. It's not on purpose. It's just how my head works. And you will witness when this happens. And that's when I will ask you, did I answer your question, or does that make sense? I will a lot of times even point out, I know I just went off topic and I'm trying to reel it back in. And one of the best things in person, because you can't do crap on a video because it's already recorded by the time you see it. But in person, if you ask something and I start going over like that, it's okay to go, I was talking about this part, and you can totally redirect me. It's okay. The other thing is, as my anxiety builds up, I start talking faster and faster and faster and faster and faster. And my students are my human speed bumps. So if I'm getting more anxious in a class and I'm talking away, you just go and you ask me a question. Works as a speed bump, slows me down, then I can answer, I can calm down. Oh yeah, and I have asthma. That's one that I've had to start actually talking about, because sometimes I'm going to sound like I'm out of breath. Like right now, my lungs aren't doing all that hot right now, and so I'm like a whole lot. Other times in class, I've had it where I start coughing and I'll have a coughing fit. It'll be like tears streaming down my face, that kind of thing. And I have to go hit my inhaler. And considering the current times, I can't just, hit an inhaler in class, because wearing a mask and the fact that I'm coughing, if I don't know for sure that I'm 100% clear, if I take off my mask in that room, I put everybody in the room at danger. Just like if you take your mask off, you're putting me at danger, or at risk, I should say. Coughing makes it spray even farther, so the worst thing I could do is remove that mask in a full room. So if in person I have an asthma attack, I'm like, first you're going to see I'll do a couple, then you're going to see me start turning red and stuff like that. Then I'll probably excuse myself and then go out to the car so I can safely take off my mask and hit the inhaler. So just giving you the update on that. You're going to hear a lot about my mom throughout the quarter. She has a lot of health issues, and I compare her to a lot of stuff. I bring a whole lot of real life examples into the class as we go. And we have a brand new textbook this quarter, and so I'm learning the new textbook. So I'm trying to update everything I have to match the new textbook. So sometimes it might take me a moment, but I'm doing the best I can. I think that's it for the about me. If not, just ask. Okay, now it's time for the syllabus. Ooh, I still have my little laser pointer on here. Let's turn that off. Okay, now it's time for the syllabus. I do not bother printing it out and passing it out, which is a good thing because considering I don't even see you till week 3, I wouldn't be able to give it to you anyway. It's online, and I'm going to show you. So here we go. If we go online, this is what your class would look like. So it's going to tell you, welcome to Bio 123 with Lab. That's me, Linda Bernhardt. This is the email address that you should use to contact me. I like to tell you this because if you send me a message through Moodle, I'm not going to get it as fast as if you send it via email. Moodle will send me an email and tell me that I have a message, and then I can look at it, but I can't reply until I sign into Moodle, and I only do that from my laptop. But if you send me an actual email, I can reply to the email with my phone, so no matter where I am, I can reply. So entirely up to you which one you want to do, but it's fastest if you do just that email. Now, reminder that this is a hybrid class. We meet every single Monday, and you have to keep up with your online portion. It is mandatory because of the way everything's going right now. We have all these extra rules put in place. I'll get to that in a second. Now here, this is another big part. We do not meet in person until October 12th, again, week 3, because since we meet on Mondays and the quarter begins on Tuesday, and then the following week is Indigenous Persons Day, otherwise known as Columbus Day, we don't meet on that day. So we don't meet until week 3. But you have a lot of stuff to do before then. You even have your first test before we meet. So here you go. On here you have announcements. This is where I will post announcements for the class. Make sure to keep track of them. Then we have the syllabus. That is what we're going to in just 1 second. And down here you have proof of attendance quiz. You have to do this before October 9th at noon. So before noon on Friday, you have to do this, because if you don't do this, you will be dropped from the course. This is the proof that you are here. Once you do that, because you're seeing this from my view, not the student's view, once you do that quiz, week 1 will open up. How I have it set is week 1, every week you will have the details. You click here, it tells you what to expect for that week. My PowerPoints, these are all my personal PowerPoints. The book PowerPoints, these are the PowerPoints that go specifically with your textbook. Then we have the labs, so I'll have a couple of things here. Then you're going to have a lecture assignment, which I will be talking about on the syllabus in a second. But notice here it says due 10 p.m. Sunday night, October 11th. These will always be right along here. You will always have assignments underneath the red heading. Below that, for practice optional, these are things you can do if you want to, you don't have to. But you get points and it helps prepare you. Coming back to that in a minute. But first, we are going to do your syllabus. So here is your syllabus. Again, our classes are Monday from 8 to 12, so 8 in the morning till noon. Room 3, it's just you walk through the little boop thing to check your temperature and straight on, and you're in our classroom. That's the email address again, and I am available to talk to you before or after class. I am the one teaching the class right after me, so it makes it easy that if we need to talk, we can. Or you can contact me. You can either ask me in class or shoot me a message. We can do stuff via email, and I can also set up a Zoom meeting. So if you want to actually like talk like this, then I can do Zoom. So just let me know. Alrighty, here's a bunch of stuff. It's the stuff we have to put in the syllabus, the description, the objectives, what we're covering. This is the book you're supposed to have. There's a lab manual that they're going to give you. We do not actually work out of this lab manual right now because brand new, I'm going through it, but I haven't found anything we can actually do in our lab. Because once we meet in person, you will see we do not have what's known as a wet lab. We are limited in what we can do in our lab. And this lab book, while they have some really great ideas, doesn't really have stuff we ourselves can do. So I'll be supplying your labs for you. Accommodations, if you need any special accommodations, you need to be registered. So you should go see Ms. Janice Anderson, the Director Anderson, however you wish to refer to her. I would say Director Anderson. It just seems the most respectful. She's here on our campus, and she'll be able to help you out with getting your, accommodations. If your accommodations are something simple that I can help you with, just let me know. I have had it in the past where I had someone who was colorblind to the color blue, so I just didn't use blue. It's a very easy fix. If it's something I can help you with, that's fine. If it's that you are afraid that taking a test in person is going to be stressful, like you're going to feel rushed, I don't tend to rush you on your test. I try to give you plenty of time, and I try to prep you. And there is a dog barking like crazy right out there, and I did not even know they owned a dog, so it's driving me crazy. Meanwhile, my cat is still sound asleep. Anyway, so the class format for here is mostly lecture discussion. Lecture discussion means I will lecture. I expect you to discuss with me. We're going to talk. Then we also have labs. These are interactive. On the syllabus, it's going to tell you everything we're covering. The week 1 details, it tells you what we're covering. It's a good idea to actually read assignments before we cover it, if possible, because if you read before we meet, then I am supplementing the material. It is not possible for me to cover every single spot in the entire textbook for you. You need to do your part as well. I am here to help facilitate the learning, not to shove it down your throat. So you still have to do your part. Exams, tests, multiple choice, short answer, short essay, that's pretty much what it is. I will also have you draw stuff, label stuff, things like that towards the end. But again, we'll talk about each of those when it comes. We have an ethics or writing assignment. We do at GMC writing across the curriculum. Everybody's going to give you a writing assignment. Talk about that in just a little bit. And then grades. Here's the big part that most people want to know. I myself use the point system. This means every single thing you do, you get points. So, first and foremost, please notice this right here, nice and bold. I will use the laser. No, I can't use the laser pointer here. I will do this. That right there. There will be no rounding of grades. I do not round grades at all. Period, exclamation point, I don't do it. So, what you do here is you keep track of your points. Notice I keep saying points, not percent, points. As soon as you have hit 900 points, you are guaranteed an A, even if you do nothing else after that, as long as you're not breaking the attendance rule. As long as you are turning in what you have to do to stay present in the class, you already have an A. Every quarter I have people who do not have to take the final exam because they have already hit their 900 points. So that is your goal right there. If you get 800 to 899 points, you have a B. This means if you're shooting to just get the 900 for the A, make darn sure it is 900, because if you get 899.75, you will still get a B because that is not yet an A. So be very careful. If you're going to go that route, I would shoot for like 930 or something just to make sure. Anyway, 700 to 799 points is a C, 650 to 699 is a D, and 649 points and below is F. That's just the way it breaks down. We're going to talk about how you get these points in just a moment. All right, I already told you about writing across the curriculum. We're going to make you write, and I'll tell you about that in a minute. Then we have drop, add, process, and withdrawal. So If you choose to withdraw from the course, you need to let me know. There'll be a couple of options here. If you just are like, I just don't want to do this, more power to you, that's fine. If you are sitting there thinking, I don't think I'm going to get the grade I want from this, contact me. We will discuss what you have been doing so far, what is left, what you have to do in order to get the grade you want. But be realistic. If you have done the bare minimum, have not bothered reading anything, and you don't like actually turning anything in, you're not going to do well. But if you were just had a rough start and you know that you can kick it in gear, totally talk to me. We'll do what we can to bring you up. Now, attendance policy. I've tried really hard in the syllabus to make sure you can't miss this. So for this class, you cannot miss more than 2 days, and you will be withdrawn from the course on the 3rd absence. I'm thinking with us not meeting for the first 2 weeks, you probably don't want to even risk that. Just saying, okay? And if you miss more than 3 hybrid assignments, you will be withdrawn. That means some of these assignments that are online are listed as hybrid assignments, and I'm going to show you that again in just a moment. If you don't do 3 of those, I have to withdraw you. Not my choice, it's the rules. So you have to do these. If you show up for class, you get your attendance, you're doing stuff, and then we have a break because we have a break. It's a 4-hour class. We have to have a break. Well, we don't have to, but the fact that since we're wearing masks and I'm going to need water at some point, we have a break so I can go to the car, remove the mask, breathe for a little bit, drink some water, and then come back. But if we take a break and you don't come back, I will mark you absent for the entire day because you're supposed to come back, just so you know. All right. Additional words from GMC. Have to throw this one out there because of the current situation. If you are feeling sick, do not attend class, but you have to notify me before. Note the word before you miss your class. As soon as you start feeling rough, shoot me an email. You want a paper trail. You want proof that you reached out. And tell me, don't do it like if our class meets at 8 o'clock in the morning, don't send me something at 7:58 and say, oh, I'm so sorry, Professor Bernhardt, I just woke up and I feel bad. If you just woke up at 7:58, you aren't coming to class anyway. You know, let's be real. If you start feeling rough in the middle of the night, shoot me a message at like 1 in the morning and say, I'm feeling horrible, I am so sorry, blah, 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 and then update me. Keep me updated. Tell me what is happening. Let me know if you're going to the doctor. Tell me your sign, the symptoms, that kind of thing. Basically, the more honest you are, the more I can know that you're not using it as an excuse. And then we will figure out what to do. Don't want you coming if you're sick. Like, seriously, no. All right, tardy policy. Don't be late. Like, seriously, I know it's hard at 8 o'clock in the morning, but I will be there at 8 o'clock every morning. And if you say, oh my gosh, but traffic is so bad, leave earlier, okay? Just gonna throw that out there. Do a practice run if you need to, if you've never been to campus at 8 o'clock on a Monday morning. It's just really distracting if I'm already talking and then someone's, coming in. So just get there, please. All right. Here's the other big one. Makeup exams or assignments, I don't take them. I do not take makeup work. I just don't. I say it a couple of times in this one paragraph. I don't do it. I have everything open for a week. You have more than enough time to get it done. Some things are open even more than a week. I would recommend when it opens, get busy, get it done. If you actually are a little proactive, you won't have to do work any weekend at all. You will be able to have every weekend off, but you have to actually, basically get your butt in gear. So you have to do it. On a day that there is a test, if you email me that day to tell me, oh, my car has a flat tire, I have this, I have that, I'm going to tell you to look back at the syllabus, and I don't do makeups. This is on purpose because every quarter and every semester for the other colleges I've taught at, the day of a test, I always have people who suddenly have the worst string of bad luck. I will need proof, like actual documented proof to even consider anything, and you won't get the same test. You'll get a completely different one. It will be more difficult. So I don't do makeups for a reason. If you wait until like an hour before something closes and then you email me and tell me that you have no internet, you will get a response of, I am so sorry. Next time you should start earlier. It's not to be a jerk. It's to teach you to actually make school a priority. Late work, right there again. I do not accept late work. Email. You should totally be using your GMC email. When I send you something, that is what I have. If you use your GMC email on a regular basis, every time I post an announcement, it should go to your GMC email. If I send a message to you on Moodle, it should go to your GMC email. If you send me a message from your GMC email, it should show up in my inbox. If you send it to me from like juicyfruit@hotmail.com or something, that might go into my spam folder and I'm going to have no idea. Which reminds me, if you send me an email from something random like that and you don't tell me who you are, why would I even open the email? So there you go. Turnitin.com. Most of the time we do have a paper that gets turned in through Turnitin.com. I do have one set for this quarter. The reason I say most of the time is on occasion Turnitin goes a little crazy and then I have to figure out something else. But Turnitin, you'll have to turn your paper in through there so it does the plagiarism check and stuff like that. So there you go. We have an online library. That's a hyperlink to it. Helpful. Use it. Ethics. Be good. There you go. Our honor code, the GMC honor code is, I will neither lie, cheat, steal, nor tolerate those who do. So you should know the honor code because you are going to GMC. Let's see. Dun, 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 dun. Scroll down here. Please note the highlighted part. No food or drink is allowed. Okay? That means don't. You're wearing a mask. I'm requiring you to wear a mask. Your mask needs to stay covering your nose, your mouth, and your chin at all times. You can't sit here and go like that through a mask. I keep having people this past quarter who would be like, just stop. If you're that friggin' hungry, leave the room. Go. Get out of the room, go eat, and then come back in. Don't do it in the classroom. Please, I beg of you. It's annoying, it's disrespectful, and it's just wrong. So don't do it. Not allowed. The rest of this is other stuff, like basically being a good person. The main thing I normally have to point out here is number 4, where you have to remove your hat or your cap upon entering. That's part of the GMC code. That is also including a hood from a hoodie. That still counts as wearing a hat. So just keep it uncovered. That's it. Number 6, I added myself. I can't handle really strong smells. So if you're going to have to wear a cologne or perfume, don't bathe in it. Wash your clothes instead of spraying it with stuff. Take a shower instead of dousing yourself with stuff. Please don't use Axe. I hate that stuff. I would rather you just not wear a perfume or a cologne. That would make my life easier. And in the past, I have actually had students who had horrible migraines triggered by those strong scents. So just be mindful of that. You might think it smells absolutely wonderful, but it might cause other people to choke. And I'm not trying to be mean or hurtful. It's just, I already talked about the asthma issue, and smells are one of the things that can trigger it. All right, COVID-19. Well, as you know, we are in a pandemic. Coronavirus is contagious, and as I record this, the president is positive, and so he's already trying to kick it. So even people who wanted to say that they thought it was conspiracy, this or that, I'm hoping right now everyone's realizing it's real. We will be covering this throughout the quarter. Not the president stuff, but coronavirus, because, hello, it's biology. We kind of have to. So throughout this thing, basically, we're supposed to have the proper social distance. In our classroom, it is impossible for us to sit 6 feet apart. It's not possible. I would love it if we could leave the door open to have fresh air flow through, but I don't think that's allowed either. The only protection we have in our classroom is that mask. So you have to wear your mask. I will wear a mask. All of you have to wear a mask. You have to wear a mask that covers your nose, your mouth, and your chin at all times. You cannot take it off. You cannot pull it down. You cannot, while trying to talk to me, pull it down so you have an easier time talking. Don't do it. Cover. Keep it covered. Nobody in the room is more important than anyone else. We are all equally important, and so we should all be equally protected from each other. I wear my mask out of respect for you in the classroom because I don't want to get you sick if I happen to have something. So you need to keep your mask on so you don't chance getting me sick or any of your classmates sick. Okay? There you go. Additional, this is just reminding you, you need to actually look over your material on a regular basis. Do not try to just cram all the information into your head in one shot. Doesn't work. You might be able to do that to take a quick test, but then when it comes down the line, you don't remember anything, and that kind of defeats the purpose of learning science. And if you're taking Bio 1, 2, 3, chances are you're taking Bio 1, 2, 4, and you need to know the information. So I would recommend actually on a regular basis going over it. Okay, now this is, yes, one page of your syllabus because I want to make sure it's crystal clear. All assignments close at 10 p.m. All the assignments, including the exam that's online, close at 10 p.m. on Sunday. Everything locks at 10 p.m. 10 p.m. 10 p.m., 10 p.m. I hope you will remember 10 p.m. The only time it is anything other than 10 p.m. on Sunday will be the very last week, because the very last week ends on a Tuesday, so you won't have until Sunday on that last week. Other than the very last week, other than week 9, everything closes Sunday at 10 p.m. Okay, points. This is how the points go in your class. You will have a total of 4 exams. That is exam 1, 2, 3, and the final exam. Each of those are worth 100 points. There will also be available extra credit on those tests, but the tests themselves are guaranteed 100 points. Then we have, notice it says hybrid lecture assignment. Each of these are worth 15 points. Total of 135 points over the quarter just for the hybrid assignments. And if you remember, I said you can't miss more than 3 hybrid assignments. Well, the lecture assignment is one of your hybrid assignments. Then 20 points for each lab. I actually have more than this number of labs in there, so I have built-in extra credit if you do every single lab. So if you're worried about your grade, or if you're really hoping to not have to take the final, make sure to properly do every single lab. Notice I say properly do. I'll talk more about that when I cover the labs themselves. Quarter-long paper. Yeah, there's a paper I'm going to have you write for the whole quarter. So this first week is the first assignment for it, and then you're going to be collecting stuff throughout the quarter, and then at the end of the quarter, you're turning the final product in. Oh, online problem-solving assessment. I am so sorry. This is a scientific method assessment. I do not design it. This is what everybody who takes Bio 1, 2, 3 has to do. You will have 2 weeks to do this. It will be announced when the week shows up and it opens. You will get 30 points for this. GMO, I keep forgetting to change. It should not be GMO assessment. It should be critical thinking assessment, or QEP assessment is what it should say. So I need to fix that because it's no longer GMO. Now it's about energy drinks. But anyway, that's going to be worth another 30 points. It will stretch also over 2 weeks, and you have to discuss with your classmates for this. Then we have the weekly writing, which is 15 points each, and this is also a hybrid assignment. So the 2 types of things for hybrid assignments are the lecture assignment and the weekly writing. The lecture assignment typically will have me tell you in one of the videos that I record something to write about in the lecture assignment. This is to assure that you're watching the lecture videos. So for this week, I could mention something in the Chapter 1 PowerPoint, or the Chapter 2 PowerPoint, or in one of the lab PowerPoints. You never know. you have to actually watch the videos. Sometimes I may make a very specific video just for the lecture assignment. Other times it might be one of the PowerPoints I'm covering. This is to help make sure that you are actually doing everything you're supposed to do in a course. The weekly writings, they're going to ask you stuff. Most of these I actually got from the new textbook, and it's like critical thinking type questions. And then you have your weekly quizzes. There's 10 quizzes. There's a total of 8 weeks because I'm not talking about week 9. And so you get 10 points for each quiz. Now, total for the entire quarter, a total of 1,000 points. So that would be a perfect grade. But again, if you get 900 points, you've got your A. Here is the breakdown. This is how we're going to cover it throughout the entire quarter. Week 1, introduction. Notice again, no in-person class on Monday. We're covering chapter 1 and chapter 2. Then there are 2 virtual labs. So you'll have to do those and turn them in. That means 20 points, 20 points, 40 points right there. And I have a little ad or text. Anyway, week 2, again, no in-person class. That's funny because I've already changed that too. So this might be an older copy of the syllabus because all these have already been fixed. Again, 2 more virtual labs. You have to do this. And then exam 1. This is the big kicker. Do not forget this. Exam 1 is at the end of week 2. Then finally, week 3, October 19th, we will meet. And if all goes well, as in we're able to truly meet and it doesn't end up being like, everybody has to go back in quarantine, we will do one of my favorite labs, which is the shellless egg lab. And I'll talk more about that in a future video. But notice I have it broken down here exactly how we're doing it. Week 5 is test number 2, week 8 is test number 3, and then the final is the last week, which is also known as week 9. So that is our syllabus. And the syllabus is located right there where it says you want to read this. So I would make sure to do that. I will talk about paper part 1 in a different video. This one I am just going to finish out what we have been doing. So that's the syllabus. Now, what should you do? Because a lot of people are like, I've never done the science class. I hate science. It's horrible. I've always sucked at science and things like that. Well, here's the thing. I am not ever going to give you a vocabulary test. However, making sure you know what the words are and what they mean help. Because if I ask you a question using keywords from the textbook, you don't know what they mean, you're not going to be able to answer the questions. So definitely make sure to look over the keywords. I would recommend, they have different little check your progress, test yourself, things like that throughout the chapter and at the end. I would do those, spot check. If you understand them, you've got a good handle on the chapter. If you have no idea what they're asking about, you want to go back and reread, that kind of thing. Read ahead. It is a lot easier for me to answer questions for things you've actually read. If you come into class and I'm like throwing all this stuff at you in one shot, it's a lot harder to keep up. And again, you need to be looking at material a lot, not just right before a test. Reminder again about this being a hybrid course. So you have to do the hybrid assignments. It is not possible to finish this course and not turn anything in. If you do not turn stuff in online, you will be withdrawn from the course. If you do just the bare minimum of turning stuff in, you are not going to do well in this course. You have to actually do the work. Now, email protocol. I'm just going to cover this real quick because for some reason I have to do this every single quarter. You should already know proper email protocol. I'm just going to let you know, do not send me an email that starts with things like my Linda, hey, what up, sup, that kind of thing. And yes, I have gotten emails from students with every one of those. Ms. Bernhardt, Professor B, Ms. B, any of those, that's fine. You can even just not even put a title. I will not be offended if you just jump right into what you're saying. That's fine. Please use proper grammar and punctuation, actual sentences. I despise text speak. Do not use text speak. Before you hit send, do me a favor and read your email out loud to yourself. Because sometimes when you read it out loud, you realize it makes no sense. More often than not, someone's going to choose to send me an email, and it's going to be they're frustrated, they're stressed, and it's late, and so you just blurt something out there, and I will not be able to figure out what it is, and I will still try to answer the question. And you will get a crazy email from me of, I do not understand what you are saying. Are you asking this or this? If it's this, then, and then I answer that. If it's this, then, things like that. So the clearer you can be, the better. There. Now, if you have any questions, because normally in class, like I said, we're normally doing this in class, I ask if you have questions. It's not possible for you to ask me right now because, again, video. So if you have any questions, just email me. Say, hey, I didn't understand this part. I didn't understand that part. Then, after you are done with this, if you have no questions, I would go and check out the My Chapter 1 PowerPoint, or technically the video. You will notice again online, and I'm going to show you right here. Online, you will have the My PowerPoints, which are going to be the ones I use. So when you watch the video, these are the PowerPoints I use in the video. If we meet in class, then those will be the PowerPoints I use in class. The book PowerPoints are the full PowerPoints. I just straight up uploaded them from the company, and they have everything in there. For mine, I tend to cut stuff out. I might add stuff, so mine change around a little bit. They're both here for whatever you want. But when you're done with this video, I would go to week 1 details and read it, and then you can either go to My PowerPoints, or there will be a new folder that will show up that will say videos, and then you can watch the videos. Or I might just post the videos separately. I don't know. I haven't figured that out yet. So yeah, when you're done with this, jump on in. Make sure to have done your proof of attendance quiz and then get busy. Of course, I think you'll have to have done your proof of attendance quiz in order to watch this video. I haven't decided where I'm placing this one. I'll probably put it up here, so then you do the proof of attendance quiz, and then you'll get to week 1. That sounds like a good plan. So hopefully that's enough. Hopefully I didn't lose you. I talked way longer than anticipated, and it's gotten really warm out here. So that is it, and see you in the next video.